Don't exchange your active pieces. In endings, this crops up especially often with rooks, like a Miroshnichenko aria, Reykjavik 2011. It is black to move. What to do with the rook a1? The rook must be kept on the board. Rook a7 was a major mistake. Then white could exchange. And now black's dominated knight is his undoing. White's king is in the knight check shadow. Knight f6 is not unplayable due to knight f5 check. And so the knight remains completely dominated. And yeah, this is another guideline from the middle game, or from the game in general. Dominated piece becomes more and more awkward the less pieces there are on the board. With the board full of pieces, it may not be so bad to have one dominated knight if your rooks and bishops are active. But if you only have that one dominated knight, it might easily be your complete undoing, like was the case in the game. Yeah. And another option for white is here often to go into pawn endings. And Botvinnik's guideline is valid, of course, that knight endings are like pawn endings. We will see this in more detail in the second part of the DVD. Black's knight is completely dominated by white's knight, and the next move was knight e7, and now black must allow the simplification into a one-pawn endgame. White's king has occupied a key square, and now the pawn will be lost, and so Ariel resigned. Black must keep its active rook, Black must keep his active rook on the board, of course. It is somehow the police, the insurance police of survival, that black is still alive. Okay, if white's king goes into this direction, then there's not much to be done. It's an easy draw, so white's king will go forward. And okay, now I agree that black's position is still precarious, but with the active rook, it is a draw. Both checks are playable. Here black must find the only move, or probably the only move, rook f4. And then the counterplay is sufficient to reach a draw. And rook e7 check is also playable, as now white's king is a bit clumsy placed. Now black's whole army also, but still somehow the rook saves black, as now the rook exchange would lead to a direct draw. And this is the difference. Now the knight is not dominated anymore and wins the pawn, and it's immediately drawn. And so white, and in the other cases, which white should try, of course, but black can survive somehow due to the rook. The rook is always the piece which saves the day with its counter activity. Don't exchange such an active rook if you're not sure that this, if you're not absolutely sure that that was the right decision. And here rook b4 is also, but here somehow it is just more likely that black can survive somehow. It is still a bit clumsy, I agree, but white cannot win. So don't exchange your active pieces. And in endings, this crops especially often up with rooks. And so always be very, very careful when you exchange one of your active rooks, or your last active rook. It will not come back. While with it, your counter-attack might draw, as the attacking king has problems to deal with the rook's annoying counter-attack.